The following is not meant for children, has been edited by Cute Stuff, and is brought to you by support from Patreon. Hello, and welcome back. I am MasterAelix, and this is MasterAelix's Build Love Time, or better known as MasterAelix's BLT. The videos in this series are where I go over character builds for some of my favorite RPGs. In this video, I plan to show you, step by step, how to make a character build that I really enjoy and explain why I enjoy it. Hopefully you will too. Now, I like to make fun and flavorful character builds, something that leans more to ROLE play instead of ROLL play. However, it never hurts to give yourself some numerical advantages from time to time. Now, my way is far from the only way to build characters. This is just one character built in a way I think is fun. Hopefully, I've done a good enough job that you would like to play this character too. However, feel free to change things to make this a character you want to play. And by all means, leave a comment down below indicating what you would change. As I go through this build, I'm going to go into detail onto what I select and why I selected the things I do. But what I won't be doing is reading the books to you. First off, that's just boring. Second, doing that removes the need for you to get your own books. I love these games and I'd love for you to support these publishers, so go buy their books. Now, let's get all the ingredients ready and prepare to layer things up as I make this BLT.
What do you think the Decepticons are up to? Whatever it is, I'm sure it's something stupid. Me agree. Decepticons dumb. Takes one to know one.
Today's BLT is for the Transformers RPG by Renegade Games. This week's art is brought to us by the usual amazing artist Stefano Romano, or at StarDropkick on X. You can find more of their amazing art at their website, romanostefano.com. The character today is Stomp, the Kaiju. This bot's alt mode is inspired by the tokusatsu creature Mecha Ghidorah. This character is dedicated to my long-time, long-suffering editor Cute Stuff, whom is a huge fan of dragons and monsters and Godzilla creatures. Also, with an honorable mention to Dropkick, whom over time we've worked together has said many times, bulk good. Stomp is a more recent addition to the Dinobots, and while he still pays lip service to King Grimlock, Stomp is bigger, and therefore better than Grimlock. He's smart enough and social enough not to say it out loud. It's one of the few things all of his heads can agree on. So, let's get into the layers of this BLT, shall we? The books you'll need to get from Renegade Games to make the character as I've made him here is the Core Rulebook, Decepticon Directive, Enigma of Combination, and Techno-Organic Secrets. So, let's begin. Influence. With the goal of making the biggest bot we can, we're going to need to grab a couple influences. The first is Titan Spark from Enigma of Combination. This influence gives us a few benefits, but the main one is the size increase. Keep that in mind as you fill out the sheet. The second is the faction influence, or sub-faction as I like to think of it, of Dinobot from Techno-Organic Secrets. This is another fun influence, and the main thing we need to note down here is that it gives us a specialization in Brawn. No points in it yet, but it's still really nice to have. I went with Terrain Destruction, because with a name like Stomp, you can imagine which one that would be. Hang-ups. With two influences, I gave Stomp here the hang-up of Mode attachment for his alt mode. Much like how Grimlock and the other Dinobots, he prefers to be in his Kaiju-sized alt mode. I feel this is really fun, and it will blend in so well when we get to Origin. There's a lot I want to grab for Stomp, so as I often do in this situation, I'm grabbing the Drone Origin from Decepticon Directive. And this is a drone copying the monstrosity origin from Techno-Organic Secrets and Decepticon Directive. The drone origin gives us a perk, a hint of independence, which lets us get a general perk in exchange for taking a drone imperfection. The imperfection I want for Stomp is number 6, slow conversion, which means converting between modes takes an entire turn. So that's one more reason why he doesn't transform often. For the perk I grabbed, it's size change from the core rulebook. This wonderful perk lets him have his alt mode be one size even larger, which is awesome. Monstrosity is already the largest size a bot can be as an origin, plus Titan Spark making it one size larger, and size change one more on top of that. The alt mode is now 2 size categories larger than huge. Oh yeah! As a monstrosity, we also get the perk Tooth and Claw, which is a lovely perk that makes our natural attacks be all the better. Also, as a monstrosity, we get choice of an alt mode speed, and I selected the 40-foot fly speed, since when you look at that alt mode, it is definitely not one for a ground speed. The origin lets us choose our essence, so with a bit of forethought, I gave him a +1 to strength, which means I'm putting that skill point into the bronze skill. Roll. While being a kaiju means there's a lot of really cool options out there, since we really want to lean into max size, we're going to be a Mode Master. This role is very cool, but also the most complex of the roles Transformers has on offer. Oh well. In an effort to keep things sane, I'm going to just highlight the key points. This role gives us a variety of perks. The first is the Cybertronian perk of Fully Hybrid, which, as things are planned out, isn't really going to be used or useful. However, nothing is ever a perfect fit. The next perk we get is Custom Frame. And in an effort to buck the convention of both being a kaiju and a Dinobot, I'm going to put the priorities as Smarts, Social, Strength, and the last is Speed. Though that last one isn't a terrible surprise. We also get Mass Shift, which is a very handy set of options. It lets us do very many cool things. Personally, I think I'm going to use the one that lets us increase our reach, because being enormous, our reach is already longer than the reach of everyone else. And last, we get a workaround for our drone imperfection, and that's Quick Change. And I chose the option that lets us transform faster from bot mode back into monster mode, because monster mode is where we want to be. Mode Master lets us choose our next 2 essence increases. So I went with a +1 to speed, which I rolled into the initiative skill. Gotta love it when the ginormous monster is very suddenly atop of you. Then I went with the smart essence, which I put 1 into the alertness skill, because being aware of what's going around you is kind of important. Focus. So as a lovely and unexpected twist, I went with the focus of Bonded Master. The silly idea here is that sometimes King Ghidorah gets one of his heads ripped off, and that's why he has to become Mecha Ghidorah. Well, I'm leaning into this. With this focus, you get to pick the perk Master Specialization, and it gives you a few options. And for this build, I'm picking Headmaster Body, which gives us a Headmaster bot and a brand new hang-up. This hang-up is Headmaster Reliance. Now, normally, it states that you can't turn into your bot mode without your Headmaster being attached. For this one, I'd talk to your GM and ask if you could swap things around so make it you can't go into your monster mode without your Headmaster being attached. The idea here is that one mode you are reliant on your minicon, which I think any GM would let you swap. Like most Mode Master focus, you get your choice of essence increases and skills. So for this time, I'm putting the social essence up by 1, and I'm putting that skill point into performance. Besides, let's face it, a huge movie monster? He can show off. Now, being a Mode Master, and since the rules are not super duper clear, to represent the Headmaster, I personally treat them like a minicon. I decided that this mini-con, Stamp, has the purpose skill of Might. Faction. Well, as a member of the Dinobots, that kind of defaults him into the base faction of Autobots. This gives him the faction perk of For the Allspark, which is nice, neat, and clean, and really can work out well. Just don't expect that infiltration clause to be triggered anytime soon. You're not sneaking into anywhere as a kaiju. Gear. With a focus on natural attacks, this section is really fully follow your spark. Pick what you like. There are some fun things out there, so really, anything goes. Just remember the restrictions on Master's gear. Personally, I think an assault claw would be fun, but since you don't really have hands, it's really up to you and your GM on that one. So, again, do as you please. Essence scores. This bot's essence scores are one you want to keep your eye on, which means we're going to take the suggested spread of 4-3-3-2 and choose carefully. So, for the +4, I want to put that into the Smarts essence. Again, this bot is being a counterpoint to Grimlock and the other Dinobots and is very intelligent. For the skills, we're spreading things thin so that we can roll without any penalties. So, that is a +1 to Culture, +1 to Science, +1 to Survival, and +1 to Technology. With the skills gathered earlier, this lets us have at least a D2 in every smart skill, which is really nice to have. For the first +3, I wanted to get that into Strength. He's a giant monster bot after all. So for these skill points, I put 2 into Might to better work those natural attacks. Plus, with Might being the skill for Stamp, make sure you properly work his skills too. The other skill point I'm putting into Conditioning, because more hit points are good, especially when you're a huge and everyone gets a bonus to hit you. Oh, and while I'm at it, keep in mind how long your reach really is when you scale up like this. The second +3 goes into the Social Essence. This is another focus for Stomp, so I'm putting those skill points as such. +2 into Persuasion, as he is an intelligent bot and he could convince the other monsters to listen to him, and +1 into Performance, so he can make a good show of it at the same time. And last is the +2. This time, things are going into the Speed Essence. Again, he's a great huge beastie, so it's really funny when I put both of those skill points into Initiative. Go first, even though he doesn't go fast. Hey, you've made it this far into the video. Thank you for that. Seems like you're liking the video, so please show that you do by hitting the thumbs up button down below. Maybe leave a comment, tell me what you're enjoying. Now that we've established the start of this character, let's get into the levels. This time we're only going to level 7 to get the complete build. Level 2. Well, for this level, we're going to get the very cool Maester perk, Hybridization. And if there is any chance you think I'd not pick Size Change, then you're crazy. This seems to be a way to ignore the no larger than 2 size categories size difference between your bot mode and your alt mode, so this is now going to be the default way to spend your mass shifts. At this level, you also get a +1 to your Smarts Essence, and I want to put that into Alertness. Gotta be sharp-eyed if you're going to be flying or keeping your head so far away from the ground. Level 3. Level 3 is a fun one. Wanting to strengthen the bond between a bot and his head, this focus perk, It's Someone Your Own Size, is great. It makes targeting and hurting your headmaster even more difficult. Level 3 also gives us a social essence increase, and we roll that into a +1 into the performance skill, but you can really put it wherever you like. Level 4. Okay, not gonna lie. If I had not put a big focus on making him the biggest and the best, I 100% would have made this level's general perk, 2 heads are better than 1, from Techno-Organic Secrets, the perk I picked with the drone origin. Not only do we have 2 heads from being a headmaster, but we were also shown in our alt mode to have multiple heads. This perk is one of those easy to understand and easy to implement perks, so feel free to use it whenever you can. It's great. Level 4 also gets a +1 to our strength essence, which we may as well put into the might skill, which, keep in mind, is a skill we use for Stamp's progression, which works out quite well. Level 5. This level we're given the Mode Master perk Jack of All Forms, which is great. Who doesn't want to do more mass shifting shenanigans? I know I do. This is a great perk for those who really use their mass shifts like Stomp does. This level also grants us a +1 to the Smarts Essence, and since we're spreading things around, why not put that +1 into Survival? Level 6. Now we're talking. With this focus perk, Advanced Link, the Headmaster, Stamp, gets a big boost in power. This is really one of those for the little guy perks, and I am 100% there for it. Make sure you pick some great skills for him, because the 2 head bonus applies. This level we also get a +1 to our speed essence, and to lean more into the airborne nature of Stomp, I'm putting that into acrobatics. It's a criminally undervalued skill. Level 7. And here we meet our apex of the build. This level gives us another option for hybridization, and I selected Hold That Shape, because that allows us to not only use the first hybridization to get larger, but now it also lasts. As for the essence, this level gives us a +1 to social, and I went ahead and put that into the persuasion skill. And at this point, for what I wanted to do for Stomp, I'm done. This bot is huge and silly, and I just love him. He's large and in charge in so many ways. The many heads thing is quite an advantage, and it helps lean into the Headmaster thing. I'm not gonna lie, when I figured out to try Headmaster out for this build, I broke into giggles, because he got his head tore off, so get himself a new one. And why not have it be a robot? I mean, come on. Writes itself, right? And I want to give a big shout out to cutestuff, because she helped me pick out the direction for this character a long time ago, and it turned out really nice. Oh, and if this character gets to lucky level 13, make sure you pick up Offensive Conversion from Decepticon Directive. You'll love it. Alternatives. As for alternatives, if you don't want to make him as large as possible, then there's a great build out there to use the Warrior role and the Shredder focus to rip and tear bots apart with your teeth and claws. This alternative would also be fitting for a Decepticon Predacon, but that's what this section is for, right? Alternatives. Well, with all of that being said, here's where I'm gonna say, thank you all for joining me. Please remember to like, comment, and of course subscribe. It's a little click for you, but a really big deal for me, and I greatly appreciate everyone who does. If you have enjoyed this video, check out the links down below for links to my artist, my editor, and my merch market, and of course my Patreon campaign where you can get a variety of rewards, including early access to all my videos. Thank you all for joining me, and I shall see you all on the next one. And I'd like to give a special shout out to all my patrons who help make these videos possible. Aaron Smith, Brian Pelfrey, Chris Armstrong, Dennis Detman, Harry Thompson, and Mark Milius. Thank you all so much for your contributions. I wouldn't have this channel without you. Thank you very much.